Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Morgana Galaxia here. I'm getting to some tarot reading. I want to look at Amy Coney Barrett, right? We are in the middle of her testimony to Congress. They're interviewing her for the position and asking a bunch of questions, and in the middle of voting, and I just want to see what's going on. I've read a couple times before and I keep asking, are the Republicans going to have the votes? Mitch McConnell swears that he has the votes, even with Connell and Murkowski having said no. Those were the two no Republican votes I mentioned before. We need two more no's from the Republicans to quash Amy Coney Barrett's ascending to the Supreme Court. So they're in chambers, they're asking her a bunch of questions. I was just watching Ted Cruz and oh my God, so obnoxious. Just so inane, so dumb. I felt my brain cells dying just listening to this guy. So I couldn't watch much more of it. And I'm like, well, let me come down here and ask Spirit. So Spirit, they're in chambers, they're asking questions. I want to know if Amy Coney Barrett is going to be on the Supreme Court. Will she have the votes? Does McConnell have the votes? Are those votes there? Let's do a nice little spread and see what's going on here with this. All right, so we're starting off the reading with the World card, which is telling us that something is ending, a major cycle is ending, and a new cycle is starting anew. So this is a joyous, very positive card. This is a wonderful cycle that's starting anew. So that's where we are, an end and a beginning. An end and a beginning. The challenge to this process is the Hanged Man, which, like that, is the Hanged Man who is saying, or the challenge here is that things are on hold, things have stalled, things are on pause to give us a chance to look at something in a different way. We need to change our perspective. We need to grow wiser during this down period. So that is the challenge to this new beginning. Overriding this reading with the King of Pentacles, this is Trump basically making this happen. He's the creator of this situation. He picked this nominee and is trying to ram her through. He is the source of this whole question, this whole thing that we're dealing with right now. So he's in the sky over this. He's watching this very carefully. Repealing the Affordable Care Act is hinging on this. Trying to overturn Roe versus Wade is hinging on this. LGBT rights, just, everything that could possibly come up. Oh, I'm sorry, let's not forget his election results, right, are hinging on this. So he has a big stake in the outcome, and he is in the sky just kind of glowering over this whole kind of situation, putting the pressure on. And again, the source and the creator of this whole drama. Underneath the reading, foundational to it, is the burdens, carrying those burdens. It's not been easy for either party moving forward with this. I can go on ad nauseum about why the Democrats are burdened right now having to fight this, but the Republicans too, because they're carrying along their own hypocrisy, their own lying, their own deceitfulness, their own burdens, right? This has been a burden for them, especially when it's going to come to the polls. You know, how many of these Republican senators are going to lose their seats because of this? People are sick and tired of this garbage. You know, they did it to us. They forced Kavanaugh down our throats, regardless of the fact that, you know, he might have assaulted women. Now they're forcing Coney-Barrett down our throats, trying to, you know, win Trump this election and repeal Obamacare. You know, in this instance, it's during an ongoing election. I mean, look what they did to Obama, right? They stalled his nominee 9 months before the election. So the hypocrisy is rampant. It's just these burdens they're carrying were self-created. You know, they made these burdens themselves, but make no mistake, it is a heavy burden for them to bear. And again, I'm just keeping on going back to the polls. How many of them are going to be losing their seats because of this? I think Connell and Murkowski are the first two that are going to go, and they know it, which is why they're already a no vote. Too little, too late, ladies. All right. So with the Page of Wands in the past position, this is, you know, communication and action. So I basically feel like this is sort of like the media, the news, who've been digging into Coney-Barrett, giving us all the information, you know, especially telling us about that weird kind of cult group that she belongs to with the handmaidens, you know, the subservient women, that whole thing. That's kind of the thing we need to know. You know, clerking for Scalia, we kind of need to know those things. You know, just the kind of views she has on things, how she's already spoken out against Obamacare. You know, basically that's why a nominee does what they're doing today in Congress, is so we get to know them as a nominee. We understand how they would impact the bench. And this is just that communication about all those kinds of things about her that have come from different sources. The energy this is moving into with the Two of Wands here is strategizing and planning. You know, they've got this sort of, I'm just going to say it with this card, they've got this goal of ruling the world, right? They want the whole entire world in the palm of their hands. It's about control, controlling women's rights to their bodies, controlling, you know, who has health care, controlling just these peoples in this nation. It's all about power and control, and that's what they're strategizing for. You know, if they can get this woman on the bench, we're going to have an extremely conservative Supreme Court, and they're just really going to be able to, they think, push through anything they want to push through on their conservative agenda and really be the controllers of this nation and how people live their lives. You know, that's power, 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 power. That's what they want. That's what they're planning and strategizing on getting. Again, this isn't success in this endeavor. This is just a planning stage. So what the situation, what they're focusing on here with the Knight of Cups, you know, they're thinking of Coney-Barrett as some sort of salve. You know, yeah, they threw us a bone. She's a female, but she checks off all of their conservative boxes. They like this woman. They really want to put her on the court. They really think that she is going to serve their agenda. So they're behind her. You know, they have positive emotions for her nomination. They just think that she's the best thing because she's so conservative. I mean, the partisanship in Congress right now has moved everyone out of the middle, where you're either, pretty liberal or you're really conservative. These are arch conservative people here, and even if they weren't originally, they've had to move that way. Yeah, she just suits their agenda. All right, and the environment with the Eight of Pentacles is they're working. They're working, they're plugging away. They're working right as we speak in those chambers, asking her all those ridiculous inane questions and, doing their rants and monologues about, anti-Democrats or what have you. But they're plugging away. This is their work, not only in the House this week, in the Congress this week, but this is all the work they've been doing with all of those conservative judges. We've heard a lot about how Republicans have been packing the courts, all the circuits, right, with all these super conservative judges, more judges than any other president or any other administration. So they have been very diligently, with their heads down, hard at work at this work of packing conservative judges on the benches. Packing conservative judges on the benches. Yep. So this nomination is like the figurehead to this larger, broader work that's being done with judges, conservative judges. Hopes and fears, Nine of Wands. So this is a fear that they're just, this is being battle weary, a little bit injured, tired out. Their fear is that they're just not going to be able to get this done. That after all the work that they've done, they just can't pull it off. That they get injured in this process as well. And they just can't pull it through. So that's the fear there, that all their work will be for nothing. And in the outcome, we have illusions and delusions, which is an interesting card for the outcome. So I'm asking if she's going to be on the Supreme Court. And this is a card of illusions and delusions. So what I'm getting from that is a sort of, I'm getting a no, that the outcome of, I don't know if they really call these hearings. I mean, this is the nomination process, right? The outcome of this is just, it's going to end up vague and unclear and just opaque. We're just not going to be able to see the truth. We're going to be unsure. We're not going to be 100% what happened, or even what the results will be. It's almost like it's unfinished, like they don't complete the process, and it just stops in this sort of hazy, elusive sort of vibe. So just for another quick overview again here, because I'm asking, is this woman going to be on the Supreme Court? So first, starting off with this World card, this is a yes card, but this isn't the outcome. This is where we are right now. So yes, we are at the close of this Trump cycle, and we're going to be starting a brand new, wonderful, happy cycle moving into a Biden administration. So absolutely, we're ending and starting. What we're ending and starting is Trump to Biden, right? A period of darkness, and we're going to go into a period of light. This is a joyous, happy card for the whole world. Everyone's going to be thrilled with this new beginning. Again, the challenge for that is that we're still waiting. We're still waiting. 25 more days, 24 more days, 20 more days, it's just waiting. And during this period of waiting, we've all been enlightened. We've all had to look at some things in a way we haven't had to before, especially, well, including this nominee and this whole process. Yeah, we went through it with Kavanaugh, and now we're going through it again. How many Supreme Court seats are these people going to steal? First, they stole it from Obama, who was a Democrat, and now they're stealing it from the voters. And by all accounts, well, I can't say by all accounts, but my feeling is that, yeah, we're going to have another Democratic administration. So again, they're stealing it from a Democrat. But Democrats are us, the people. They're stealing this seat from the people. And this is kind of how we need to start thinking about this. At least we need to be looking at things differently. Again, Trump's got his fingerprints all over this. It's nothing but a burden for all his Republican senators who are having to be, they're forced into being hypocritical. They're forced into maybe, doing something they don't want to do. I'm sure a lot of these people probably respected Justice Ginsburg, her career in life. They probably would have happily respected her last dying wish. They might have acknowledged, yes, we're actually actively in an election. It's the right thing to do to wait, but they have been forced to carry this burden. And they're going to probably lose some seats over it. They've been working away at this because they really want to put this woman on the seat. And it's just, which way can it go? I would have bet money that Kavanaugh wouldn't have made it onto the Supreme Court. But there he is, against just the cries of outrage from everyday American citizens, right? Especially women. How can you put someone like that on the court? Now, I'm not obviously saying Coney-Barrett is like Kavanaugh and that she probably doesn't assault people, but she's going to assault our rights. She's going to assault women's rights. She might assault other kinds of civil rights. So it's a bad thing. But again, this outcome with this illusion and delusion, this is indicating to me that they're just, like their fear card says, they're probably not going to be able to pull this off. They might not have, that's what it is. These are the votes. McConnell thinks that he's got this locked up. Even without Murkowski and Connolly, he thinks he's got this locked up, but he's mistaken. Some of these votes that are going to be cast are like an illusion. He thinks it's one thing, but it's going to turn out to be something else. That's what I think is happening here. These are the votes that are those unexpected no votes. Yeah, I think that's what's happening here. They're going to be, I'm not talking about the Democrats here because we all know how they're going to vote. I think there are going to be some Republicans who, surprise, let McConnell down here. He's under the illusion every Republican is going to vote yes. He's deluded and thinking each one of those votes is going to be a yes. And I think he's going to find out that he's been deluded. Because, yeah, that's how I'm reading this. This is McConnell's delusion. That's his delusion that all these yes votes, all these senators are just going to be like, okay, I'll be a hypocrite. Okay, I'll lose my seat for you. Okay. This is a complete travesty, but I'll just follow along. I can understand it because that's what they've been doing for 4 years, right? They've absolutely been doing that for 4 years. But we're, 20-something days away from the election. Look at Lindsey Graham's seat, right? He's probably going to lose his seat. I'm going to take a look at that next. People are going to lose their seats. People are really upset. It's too close to the election. Trump is too close to being out of power. Not to mention the man has gone mad. He's gone mad. And I think they get that. And I just remember too, one of the previous readings I did about this spoke to the fact that Trump doesn't ever nominate anybody based on their merits, based on their good qualities or their skill, their expertise. That's not how he nominates. Everybody he puts in place serves his purpose in one way or another. We just talked about that with the election results and Obamacare. But that reading wanted us to look at money. So that might be something that comes out. But as of now, I'm gonna hope and pray that the cards are telling us those votes aren't there. They're not there. All right. So Lindsey Graham, he's been put through the ringer. He is neck to neck with Jaime Harrison and being outspent. Every time he looks sideways, people start throwing more money at Jaime Harrison. I caught a bit of their debate. I didn't watch the whole thing because the film quality was really crappy, but I did watch a part of their debate, and he looked so pathetic. He was nervous, jittery, just real dicey, and just saying things that were crazy, that just ridiculous. Basically all the Republicans now have resorted to essentially calling everybody a socialist. They couldn't really come up with any hard insult for Biden or Kamala, so they're all socialists. That's just what they're throwing out there, and wherever it sticks, right? And Lindsey Graham's talking about Jaime Harris as a socialist. Ridiculous. Just so ridiculous. And Jaime Harrison, very well spoken, very confident, just had a really nice vibe about him. And Lindsey was just freaking out. So I want to take a look at Lindsey Graham. Is he going to lose or keep his seat? Let's look at both of them. Look at Lindsey and Jaime. So I'm going to do Lindsey on this side here and Jaime on this side. I want to see, Spirit would like to know if Lindsey's going to keep his seat. Let's take a look. Lindsey. And Jaime. All right. So for Lindsey here, we have the King of Swords. So this tells me he is right now having to deal with some hard truths. People are looking at him. They're looking at his behavior and the way that he's acting with judgment. This sword is analyzing him, reviewing him, looking at him with the clear eyes of truth and justice. So over the course of these last couple of years, he has really had to reveal who he is. We're all seeing this new side of Lindsey right now. And that's what this is showing us. He is being judged. He's being judged harshly. And as a result here, he is going to be out in the cold. Here he is, out in the cold, loss, poverty. And with the end result here of the Four of Wands, this is my card for the White House, but it's also a card for coming home. It's a happy card. It's a positive card for coming back home. So I'm kind of I'm almost, it's be a little difficult. So I feel like, yes, he's going to be tossed out in the cold. This is telling me he'll lose here. But does this mean what? That he's going to that he is going to go back to the House, the Congress? Or does that mean that he's going to finally get to retire, go back home to South Carolina and just sort of retire and be happy and be at peace? Let me see if we can get a clarifier on that. Over here for Jaime, we're starting off with the Queen of Pentacles. So this tells me that, you know, he's been thinking about money, thinking about his opportunities, sort of being introspective, seeing how he can best manage his resources, his benefactors, his money. And just, you know, Pentacles is also the state of being, your security in the world. So he's being thoughtful. So he's being thoughtful. He's being practical. He's being smart and ambitious. You know, he also, this card is telling us he's carrying a heavy load. He is bearing some burdens here. This fight against Lindsey Graham is tough. You know, Lindsey is an entrenched politician, right? He's been in the Senate a very long time. It's very difficult to unseat somebody like that, regardless of how corrupt or inept they may be. So this is not an easy slam dunk victory for Jaime. He's feeling a bit burdened here. And with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, so that would indicate a loss of an opportunity, a loss of some financial resources. So that doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well. I would say that that's a loss card. So I'm shuffling the deck here to see if we can get some clarifiers. Please, let's clarify that here. Clarify that there. Oof. All right, both of these clarifier cards are about speed, action. So whatever's happening is going to happen fast. Sure, we know the election's just right around the corner. Now, the Chariot does portend victory. So you know you're going into a righteous battle and you're most likely going to be victorious. Over here with the Eight of Wands, you know, these can very often be problems, accusations, things like that that are hurled against you, or hurled towards you, I should say. So Lindsey looks like he's going to be having to deal with he's going to have to be answering different questions, different accusations that are being thrown at him. But let's get one more. Temperance, Ace of Cups. So Lindsey's clarifier is moderation, temperance. So he is being advised to tread with balance, with care, with discernment, with moderation, to watch his words, watch his actions. Don't be extreme, okay? This is telling him not to be extreme. And this is definitely what his imbalance is right now. He went from not liking Trump to being one of Trump's minions and being as one of his staunchest supporters. And as extreme as Trump has gone, Lindsey has been there with him, being extreme, not moderate. So that's definitely a challenge for Lindsey. Over here with Jaime, we end up with the Ace of Cups, which is a new opportunity. It's a new beginning. It's a yes card. It's just, your bountiful riches, your heart run, your cup runneth over, joy and happiness. So the only thing, as much as I want to say Jaime's got it, these cards here tell a different story. Yes, they both, Jaime's carrying burdens, Lindsey's out in the cold, but Lindsey ends up with this very positive Four of Wands, while Jaime has this upside down King of Pentacles. So this is a lost opportunity. It's a lost opportunity, and this is coming home, and I almost feel like coming home to the Senate. So here I want to say Lindsey's got the Senate. And yet, as I continue to clarify out, yes, a lot of activities happening really fast. Jaime's got the upper hand with this Chariot. And while we know Lindsey's not listening to this angel of moderation, we've got Jaime over here with a brand new opportunity. It's telling me that Jaime's got the edge. So you know what? This race is tied. It's tied right now. I don't think we got an answer yet. I think it's still up for grabs. I think if Lindsey Graham stops being so extreme and following Trump, and is moderate and practical and does the right thing, he might be able to return home to the Senate. However, Jaime, with that Chariot, he's got a righteous fight on his hands, and he has the edge on victory, and he's got a brand new opportunity in front of him. So I think we're going to have to hit this again closer to the election. I was really hoping for something definitive, but those cards kind of didn't want to be definitive today. Okay, so not last night, but the night before, I had a dream about Rudy Giuliani. And in my dream, I guess I had a dinner date with this nice man, right? We were due to go out to dinner. And he basically got word that this mobster basically was coming to the house and was going to stop him from having dinner because he needed to deal with this sort of mobster. And basically in the dream, Rudy Giuliani was part of the mob. He was a mobster. He was a gangster. And he wasn't in my dream, but the dream was about him. So he was a gangster, he was a mobster, and he must have been like on the run. People were looking for him, or people were trying to deal with him. And this other mobster came to the house to visit this man I was going to have dinner with because he wanted to stash documents, or he wanted to get some documents. Basically, there were some documents and papers, papers that were negative to Rudy Giuliani that someone had hidden in a desk. So it's in this wooden desk, like in a drawer, there were these papers, and they were about Rudy Giuliani. And this mobster was coming to the house to get them, I think, to move them. And, do something with him, and he was going to have to talk to this guy, and this guy was like, I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to deal with him. I'd rather go to dinner with you. I don't want to deal with this guy. Anyways, that's essentially was a dream, that Giuliani's a gangster, and there was some papers. There's some papers that are hidden away in someone else's house and someone else's desk that have something to do with Rudy Giuliani. And I'll also say in my dream, it wasn't the primary issue, but there was a feeling in my dream that he had COVID as well. So I'm just going to put that out there. So with that said, I want to take a look at Rudy Giuliani, because I know that he was going to get tested for COVID. And he apparently is, those are the longest test results to ever be returned, because we still haven't heard anything. But he did show up coughing his way through a Fox interview. So I want to take a look at how Rudy Giuliani's doing. Is he sick? Is he in hiding? You know, where's Rudy? Rudy Giuliani. Where is Rudy Giuliani? Where is Rudy Giuliani? All right, let's take a look. I'll do a different spread here, my What the Actual Fudge spread. Where's Rudy? So, we've got the Two of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, I feel like Rudy is often hiding. Trying to get a sense of this energy here, because normally this is a big decision that needs to be made. But this card is also about procrastination, because it's so hard to make a really hard decision sometimes with this blindfold. In the dark of night, I feel like, yeah, he's hiding. He's maybe even got some protection, almost like I feel like a couple bodyguards keeping him safe. Nobody knows where he is, or not very many people know where he is, and he's procrastinating. He's waiting something out. He's being challenged with the King of Swords, which is some authority reviewing financial situations, some financial records, some things or other kind of documents, other kind of situations are being looked at and reviewed by someone who has the understanding, has the knowledge, the intellect, the capability to take a hard look at whatever it is, whatever kind of financial information that they're looking at right here. So what we know about this situation with the Six of Pentacles is this is about the give and take of money, money changing hands, money going from one place to another place, from one party to another party. You know, with this card, with this reading, you know, I'm definitely seeing these poor, you know, draggled kind of, kind of people, the masses, you know, the peons. And here's your wealthy, let's call it oligarch, okay, who's got all the money, who decides who gets what, who gets what kind of money. So, but again, it's about the give and take, payoffs, bribes, you know, any money changing hands like this. What is wrong about the situation with the Knight of Pentacles is there's a financial opportunity here. There's some sort of scheme or investment, some sort of an opportunity, a financial one. So someone is coming with an offer of something that has to do with money. So that's what's wrong with this situation. Where do we need to go for more information is the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is a really positive card. You know, it's all about love and joy and emotion. You know, when your heart's so full, your cup runneth over. This sort of, you know, this sort of love and grace. And it's a new start. It's a new opportunity, usually one that's a relationship, something with the emotions, right? So there's a new relationship that's offering a lot of joy, a lot of emotion. It's a big opportunity. So I guess what this card is telling us is if we want more information, look to a new relationship that's been formed that's offering a lot of opportunity. And with these waters, there's an emotion-based aspect to it. And for the action that needs to be taken, we have the Ten of Cups. This is my card for the happy voter. So the action that needs to be taken is, I should say the action that needs to be taken by the voter, all of us. And the only thing that could mean is voting, getting out the vote, voting the Trump administration out of office so Rudy can't keep doing his, his underground international work that he did, like what he did with Ukraine. What did they call that? The Secretary of State, the diplomatic stuff, right? He's doing his own private diplomatic work for Trump. The only way that's going to stop is to vote Trump out of office. So where's Rudy? Rudy is secreted away. He's got some bodyguards around him. And he's still doing his thing. He's still making deals, meeting people, forming relationships, looking for opportunities. And for Trump, because the only way it's going to stop is when Trump gets voted out. So if I'm looking for COVID here, the only card that could mean COVID for me would be this one because of the water element. He could be overwhelmed with that water element of COVID, but I'd rather ask about that more specifically. So we'll just say here that Rudy's still doing his thing. He's still doing his diplomatic crafting, looking for relationships, looking for opportunities for Trump. But he's doing it on the down low. He's got protection. He's not in the public view right now. But Spirit, does he got COVID? Is he sick? He was coughing his way through that Fox interview. He's old. He doesn't look healthy. Spirit, can you show us Rudy Giuliani's health? I really want to take a look at Rudy Giuliani's his health. Spirit, show us his health. Does Rudy Giuliani have the COVID? He's nostalgic, looking back to earlier times. No, he's feeling nostalgic. He wants things to be as they were. He's got, again, with this Ace of Cups, I just said that this would be the card that would mean COVID for me because of that water element. It's almost like he's drowning in it, like, it's like that hand of destiny has handed him this cup of water. Okay, and then we have the High Priestess, so holding on to secrets. Holding on to secrets. And at the base of the pack, we've got anxiety. Yeah, I'm going to say because COVID is of the water element, water is COVID to me because of, the aerosols, right? The particles that we release through our breath, out of our mouth, out of our nose. And that's how really it's transferred from person to person through those water droplets. There's so many ways to read tarot cards. You can, just be strict. This is always going to be a positive new relationship card. But, there's so many layers to meanings here. God, I almost want to say yes. He's drowning in those water particles. He's drowning in that COVID. He's nostalgic for earlier times. He wishes he could feel the way he used to feel. He wishes he can go back to how it was. But this is something brand new for him, this water, and he's keeping it a secret. We haven't heard his test results yet. He's keeping a secret. It's going to get out eventually, as all things do. So, I'm going to say these cards, and especially given at the base of the deck, sleepless nights, high anxiety, lots of fear, lots of regret. Chances are very good Mr. Giuliani has the Rona, which could be why he's in hiding, right? He's got his bodyguards being protected, but he's out of view. He's out for the count right now. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. So just to summarize, my dream is telling me Rudy is a gangster, and that is something I've been feeling for a long time, and also something I've been feeling about Trump for a long time. And I think, Lev Parnas, right? All those folks, Ukrainian gangsters, I think something's going to come out about that. There's some, according to my dream, there's some documents somewhere that are revelatory about Rudy Giuliani that they're hunting down and looking to hide, but they're in somebody's desk somewhere. Back to my reading, Coney-Barrett, I think the votes aren't there. I think McConnell thinks he's got it, and he's going to continue to think that up until the last moment, and then the votes aren't going to materialize. They're not going to materialize. Lindsey Graham, that was hard to call. That was hard. We're going to have to look at that later. But for Giuliani, I'm going to say, he could possibly have COVID. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for me today. I got to go back to watching this boring ass questioning of Coney-Barrett, and hope I don't lose too many brain cells listening to the likes of Ted Cruz and them. I'll see you guys soon, hopefully with some good news, right? All right, talk to you later, everybody. Take care. Bye.